Hello and welcome back to the Solo Roleplayers podcast. I am your host, PJ, and today I am doing a very impromptu, probably needs to be very short, little mini variety hour episode before I head off back to Australia for a trip for a couple of weeks. I'm literally leaving within the hour, and it's just been a little while since I've been able to get on the mic, and so I wanted to just drop in and say g'day to you all before I head off. Don't worry, there is plenty of planned content to come out for you, but I won't be recording anything new over the next couple of weeks. My microphone wouldn't fit in the bag, but you never know. What I want to do today, this is going to be mini, this is not a full episode. You may have noticed that, not that I necessarily always do the monthly variety hour update episodes, but I like to sort of check in and talk about what's going on in the month. It is nearly the end of the month, and this is the first chance I have really had to sit down and do this and get on the mic. It has been, without a doubt, one of the busiest months of my life that will continue over the next couple of weeks while traveling. But then after that, hopefully, I'm pretty sure, things are going to start calming down a little bit, and I'll be able to dig back into all of the things that I am excited about in solo roleplay for the rest of this year, which is a lot. Never fear, so much solo roleplay is going on in my head, even if under my hands there hasn't been the time. So, what I want to do today is, firstly, I want to talk a little bit about what the core theme of this month is, or I say this month, the next month, the next couple of episodes of this, and that is that we are returning to Dragonbane and returning to Deepfall Breach. This is a place that kind of started it all for me on this, the actual play part of this podcast. I originally started this podcast really just as somewhere to put some interviews that I really wanted to do with creators who had got me started. And then I thought maybe I want to try and play a little game on here that doesn't take as long to produce as my wonderful to me, baby Wasteland story, which is going to be also a little bit slower again due to the nature of this month, the next episode. Sorry, fans of that. It's still coming, a little while yet. Yeah, and I dropped in and I tried Dragonbane Deepfall Breach, which is actually one of my very first solo roleplay experiences, certainly of a bigger game outside of Fallout. And it was a really, really fun time jumping back into it. So what we're going to do is tomorrow on the show, I've just finished mixing it, I am releasing a new sort of format. I don't know if we'll do it regularly, but it was really, really fun to do. And that is where I got in and I schooled someone, a GM and a creator of role-playing games content, specifically of Dragonbane content, Andreas Lundström, who's been on the show before, host of the Sweden Rolls podcast and creator of the Windheim Dragonbane supplements. And I schooled him on what solo roleplay was by guiding him through a session in Deepfall Breach and really just telling him what oracles to roll on, when to do things, and letting him experience what solo roleplay was like. And that was so much fun. I really look forward to you guys hearing that when it comes out tomorrow. Really good session, really fun session with that. On that same day that we recorded that, I also dove back into Deepfall Breach myself for the first time since the very beginning of this podcast, mostly to remind myself of the rules before trying to pretend I'm an expert and show someone else how to do it. And I recorded that session as well, and that was also a lot of fun. That I'm not yet sure if I'm going to put out over for free members over on the Patreon, or if I'm going to squeeze it onto this show, the main public feed. I do have another interview that I want to get out this month as well, which has been a long time coming. So I'm not yet sure. If in doubt, it can't hurt, go over and sign up to Patreon/Solo Roleplayers as a free member. And if it does go up over there, at least first, then you'll be able to listen to that over there. And it's free. And I sometimes put extra stuff or extended episodes or other interviews and stuff over there. If, of course, you want to be support me as a paying member, as a full card-carrying solo role player, then you can also check out that on the Patreon. I think we have somewhere north of 40 extra episodes in that main premium feed now, and this is a reminder to all my current patrons as well, you do get a new podcast, which has all of the public and premium episodes in it. You don't need to jump back and forth. You don't need to listen to it on the Patreon app. You don't need to jump through any hoops or listen in a browser. You get a whole brand new show wherever you listen to your podcast, which has everything in it. That's generally a new episode every week. You can go check that out. There's also the Discord where we are talking a lot about our solo experiences at the moment. People are sharing their plays. We have the Solo Role Players radio over there, which we are going to be featuring in the Discord in probably May. I want to do May Day radio. I don't know, sounds fun to me. Anyway, not going on about that. You can see all those benefits over there. It's a lot of fun. It's a great community, and there's heaps of extra content. And you help keep me do stuff like these extra episodes and keep making the content that I love to make and need to justify to do. Anyway, I said this was going to be short. I don't have time. So I will continue. The next thing that I want to talk about today is, in celebration of diving back into the Deepfall Breach, I am doing another giveaway, and we, this month on the Solo Role Players podcast, are giving away to 2 lucky people a first prize of the Dragonbane core set itself. That is where it all starts. That is what includes Alone in Deepfall Breach. It has everything in there that you need to play. If you don't know what Dragonbane is or the core set is, do check it out. It is really, really excellent value. It's a full game. It's a full set of adventures. It's dice. It's standees. It's a really beautiful map. And it's the solo mode designed by your friend and mine, Sean Tompkin. And I'm very sorry to the co-writer, the co-author of that. I don't have your name on the top of my head, nor do I have Deepfall Breach on me. Apologies. So yeah, we're going to be giving that away. You can also see that giveaway. I have just posted that on the free Patreon feed. Again, Patreon/SoloRoleplayers. You can enter into that. All the shipping questions and stuff is all handled over there. Basically, shipping's expensive, and you need to be okay with paying for shipping if you win one of these things. Go check that out. And before I do go, I wanted to tell you about those things and what's coming up, because that is exciting. I want to tell you a little bit about what I've been doing, and then I want to talk about what I've packed for my travel. What games am I packing for travel? This is stuff that I have to be able to play on a plane, solo and or co-op with my son, stuff that he's playing as well. It is a bit of a long flight to Australia, as anyone who has ever done that trip will know. It is a very long time to be sitting in one place, and anything that passes the time is very welcome. So I'm going to talk about the games that I've packed for that. I don't have them on the table with me because they're packed, but I've made a little list. I think I should remember everything I packed. And yeah, other than that, I have been unable to play much this last month. It's been very busy. Any time that I have had, I've been putting into a design project, which has been really, really interesting and a lot of fun, and you'll hear more about that soon. And I've been playtesting for a little solo small board game, actually, who the designer of reached out to me as someone who asked about solo years ago, and they said, hey, I remember you emailing about solo on one of our other games. Do you play solo board games? Would you maybe like to playtest this? And I was thrilled to do so. I've been playtesting that as well. That's been a lot of fun to do and given me a bit of insight into playtesting in general and the importance of it. I can really see the importance of playtesting, having gone through this really first proper playtest experience. So that's what I've been doing. That's been fun. All the other stuff is not solo roleplay related. It is just work, basically, which has also been fun, but also a lot. And yeah, I am hoping, and it does look like things are going to be calming down a bit again when I come back to Europe in a couple of weeks, and I'll be able to dig back in, as I said before. So, moving on to the first and only little mini topic of this mini variety hour episode is the travel games, what I've been packing for travel. Now, I went back and forth a little bit. I've been getting pretty excited since playing Dolmenwood, actually, at the end of last year. I've been getting pretty excited about the OSR and trying to figure out my preferred approach to OSR style gaming. One of the things I love about this hobby is that in the different games, and even within the same games, there are so many different approaches to play. And I don't have a single one that I love. I really love the narrative that I get out of the Starforge plays that I do. And I really love playing games that has a lot of mechanics and procedure and not necessarily a lot of character-driven narrative or large overarching stories or those kinds of things. Both of those things can and do exist, and that is a really wonderful thing. And so I've been getting really interested and digging in and poking around in how I want my old school play to be, how I want that experience to be, and what I like about that. And so I decided I wanted to take something OSR with me. We talked a little bit about it on the Discord. We have some true OSR professionals in there. And while I wanted and was very tempted to take my 2 hardcover books of Old School Essentials, one of our resident OSR experts there, Dr. Love Wizard, did inform me that even though OSE is his Desert Island game, he would just take White Box because it's small and it is very much proper OSR stuff. So that is what I've done. I've packed White Box. This is the FMAG version, White Box Fantasy something gaming something. Look it up, White Box FMAG. Super cheap, super small. Really, I mean, he is absolutely right. You could drop this in the ocean and pull it out again and it would still be okay because it's really cheap to replace. You're not worried about it getting scrunched up in a bag or scratched or ripping a page or anything like that. It really truly is something that you could take with you anywhere. It is small and light and replaceable. So yeah, that is good. And in addition, I have recently come across some material designed to be able to solo White Box, which is also very small and print-outable and very affordable, which I have packed. One of them is the new one I came across, which is... In fact, I don't even have that written down. It is by Silver Nightingale, I think. Man, I can't get it. It's packed. I won't even put a link to it in the show notes because I'll be on a plane, but you can look it up. It is White Box unofficial solo supplement. Man, I thought I was prepared for this. Anyway, that is a little booklet which is specifically for White Box 2 Solo. And it's like, I printed it out in an A5 booklet and stapled it. And it is a very nice, thin, slim, and covering all of the basic stuff in as fewer words as possible, leaving a lot of openness, at least so it seems. I haven't played it yet, about how to play White Box Solo and any little oracles and procedures that you may need, including hex crawling, quest generation, all that kind of thing. For good measure, I have also packed my solo gaming sheets, White Box, single sheet thing, Google Solo Gaming Sheets, and that is a hex map on one side and a dungeon map on the other side, and with all of the tables and encounters and this kind of thing all on that page around the outside of the map. I remember a while ago Geek Gamers doing a video on it. You can probably find... I used it for my 20-minute challenge White Box session that I did a couple of months ago. That episode about all the entries for 20-minute challenge is still in the works. Not yet sure what I'm going to do with it, but it will come out eventually. Maybe even mix something while I'm in Australia, which is what I did for the last challenge. Don't know. We'll see. See if I have time. I also downloaded the Ultimate Solo RPG Tool Kit, I think it's called. There's a new version of that. I had the old one, never got to use it, but there's a new version now, 2.0. I've printed that out as well. My son and I are going to try some White Box together, and maybe both alone. I also packed Axbane's Deck of Many Dungeons because I had space for one deck, and I thought, why not pack a little dungeon deck? Then, in solo RPG-ing potential while I'm away, I went against the advice in the Discord and packed an additional OSR, and that is Shadow Dark. And that is because I recently pulled out for the first time the Shadow Dark, the Game of Thrones version of Shadow Dark, the Shadow Dark Quick Start Guide, which is a nice little small zine sized thing. And I had that out at the table. I'd never actually looked at it. I owned it. And I had that out because I was running a game of Shadow Dark, and it was nice to have a second booklet to hand around the table. And I happened to be flicking through the Game Master's version of the Quick Start Guide and realized that in fact, is where the I think it's the Citadel of the Lost Minotaur or something adventure is in. And I had heard about that, and I didn't know where it was, and now I do. And it is in that book, so I decided to pack that as well, even if only for the event roles to be done with white box then, like the location events and that kind of thing, wilderness events, and the dungeon. So I have, in fact, packed Shadow Dark as well, although not the whole book, just one of the little zine-sized things, the Quick Start Guide. That is all I've packed for role-playing specific stuff. But on the plane, and also this is both for my son and I went ahead and dug up my old print and play folder on my laptop, which I had been filling up back in the lockdown days before I knew what solo role-playing was, and printed out some things. That included a big feature from Postmark Games. If you don't know what Postmark Games is, they are a fantastic little company that run very affordable Kickstarters. It's usually $5 or £5 they run, and you get a really solid little, usually like 5 map or 5 level game of some sort. They have a number of different ones. I think they have 5 different ones at the moment. All of them have been really fun. I really appreciate that they pay attention to having both a US letter sized and an A4 sized thing. Designers out there, if you're American, remember that the rest of the world does not use your paper size, and it will be good to design for us as well. And vice versa, I assume, if you are designing from this side of the pond and you're an American who doesn't get A4. Do both. It's great. It makes life better for everyone. So, the ones that I printed out, I've played a few of them before. The ones that I took for this trip is the Waypoints series of games, which is, I think, 5 maps. And that is just a really nice little... I think you're ostensibly charting hiking trails, and so you get a nice map-looking map, like a hiking-looking map, and you have a weather roll around the edge of the map, and I think you're rolling a single d6, or in my case, my little spinny dice, which is the best thing ever, and unfortunately you can't get them anywhere anymore because the company died, or at least the product died, and I can just spin a little thing and get a dice roll of any dice, and you just go around the edge with your dice roll and mark off the weather, and you're trying to get the best score possible by visiting as many different types of animals and filling in different challenges and whatever else, and it's great. It's a single piece of paper that you can draw on and fold up and put away, or you could even laminate and reuse with a dry erase marker, or whatever you wanted to do. That is Waypoints by Postmark Games. Voyages is the next one by Postmark Games. I've also printed out, which I think was their first one. Similar idea, but you're sailing around as a pirate, I think. It's been a while. And investigating things and trying to visit various islands, whatever. Different mechanics, same sort of idea. Really good little time passer, lots of fun. And they have a couple of other games that you can check out as well. I also have, and this was the very first print and play I ever printed and played, which is called Bargain Basement Bathysphere of Beachside Bay. To slow that down, Bargain Basement Bathysphere, as it is more commonly known. And this is quite a massive print and play game, actually. We're looking at half a centimeter thick worth of pages, and it is just this bizarrely deep and weird roll and write game about diving, like diving down deep under the water and trying to, whatever it is you're doing. And then it just seems like this simple little diving game where you roll a couple of dice and see how far you can get and see how many points you can get, and then you go to the next page and there's some whole other new mechanic, and then there's some other weird mechanic that comes in, and I think it is technically a series of single page games that kind of work together to create this off the wall little campaign a little bit. I only played the first, 10 or 8 missions of it back in the day in those lockdown times, and so I just reprinted out those pages that I'd already done because I've forgotten everything, and I look forward to doing that with my son on the plane. That's our goal. Our goal is to see how far we can get through Bargain Basement Bathysphere of Beachside Bay co-op. We'll just play side by side and help each other out on the plane. And I did forget to mention there's one more which is more in the direction of role-playing, and that is the Fabled Lands series. This is one of these game book things, which is, it feels pretty old school, like old school game book, not old school role-playing game, where you kind of, it's like read a passage and then make a check, and you do have a little character sheet and stuff, so it's more than just choose your own adventure. And it's sort of cool, it's sort of easy. I mean, it's very difficult and you die all the time, but sort of easy to play and low mental load, and something that you can sort of pick up from time to time and just roll a few dice and see how far you get and sort of explore this little world as you go. That was Fabled Lands, and I believe that brings us to the end of what I packed for our trip in solo and cooperative play. My son also packed his D&D starter set because we did start playing some co-op last time in Australia with the Dragon of Icespire Peak campaign, which we didn't get far, but we had heaps of fun doing it. So he insisted on packing that. So maybe we get to play some of that co-op as well. Co-op gaming is great. Co-oping is fun. I plan to do some co-op stuff on the channel next month when I get back as well. But we'll talk more about that when we get to it. I now really need to get going and do a final check. Really hope, pray to the dice gods that I have not forgotten anything, because, if we forget something important, pretty hard to fix. Anyway, that's it from me today on this little mini variety hour check-in catch-up. Do go and check out the giveaway. Go over to the Patreon/SoloRoleplayers. Remember, you only need to sign up as a free member in order to enter that. That is the Dragonbane core set and the Dragonbane bestiary. First place will get the core set, unless, of course, you want the bestiary because you already have it, the core set, then you can choose to do that. And the second place will get in fact, maybe I should have just explained it or described it as being you get first pick if it was first place. Whatever, that's just detail. Go check it out. I hope everyone out there is having a really great time. I know here in Germany, the feeling of spring is starting to come into the air at the moment, and everyone's moods have started to lift a little bit, and that is after the long, dark winter, and that is nice to see. I am really excited. I'm really looking forward to going home for a couple of weeks and seeing friends and family, of course, getting a few more records from my old record collection and bringing them back with me. And I am equally looking forward to coming back and hopefully it might take a couple of weeks after I get back, but digging down into some more solo roleplay, because I will have more time. There's so much I want to play, so much I want to get done this year, and that is without buying anything at all. I have everything waiting for me on the shelf that needs to and wants to get played. It is begging me to play it, and I'm so excited about it all. I've got lots of exciting ideas. There's other exciting things coming up, but that is for next month when I get back and when things settle down again. You will hear from me then, and until that time, I hope you have some time to get some games off your shelf and just play a little bit. Take that time for yourself. It is so rewarding, as you know, if you are a solo role player. And if you are a solo role player curious, then you are not too far from finding out that joy for yourself. Enjoy the episodes on Dragonbane coming up, and I will see you next time on the Solo Role Players podcast. Bye.